Hey y'all, what is going on? This is Jesse Boast in the 19th hole, and I've got a rookie video guide here for you all for the upcoming Christmas tournament. This is for the new Greenberg course, and hopefully this will help you. This is holes 1 through 9, and a few different alternate routes for some of these holes. So we're going to start here. We're hole number 1, par 4. So for this shot, we're going to be playing it to the left side, and we'll start out with a plus 10% elevation change on the tee shot. Extra mile hole right here for sure. We're going to be bouncing it over the rough right here. You know, if you want to go with a little bit higher level ball, you can, and try to overpower this shot with some tailwind and possibly get there a lot closer to the green if you wanted to. But for me, I'm just going to play this hop over the rough and through the gap between the left fairway in that middle rough section. So with headwind, this is the way that I would play it. With tailwind, you may have a few more options as far as maybe going over the rough and trying to get a little bit closer up to that green. But what we're going to do here is we're still going to put ourselves in a very nice position for a thorn shot. So max top spin, and then you want to use your side spin to guide yourself through that gap right there like I did. And we put ourselves nicely on the fairway. So for our second shot, even from here, we're going to be having a thorn shot, and we're going to play this one uphill, minus 10%. This ball is going to come in kind of hot uphill, so definitely make sure you don't, chicken out on using a backspin for this shot. What you're going to see me use is like 3.5, 4 bars of backspin here. I think I used 3.5 somewhere in there, and we line the shot up with the hole, just in front of the hole. I would recommend going a little bit more backspin than even I went. Of course, you do want to judge your spin depending on what kind of a wind you have. I have a headwind, so that's the reason I only went about 3 backspin. But as you're going to see, my shot does come in kind of hot, and going a little bit more backspin would not have hurt me here. But if you have a tailwind, definitely make sure you use more backspin because you'll have that extended ball guide working that shot as well. But we drop it. We got the eagle for hole number 1. And we'll move on to hole number 2. So we got hole number 2 here, par 5. Definitely would recommend going with at least a Titan ball here or a Katana ball, depending on your club strength. What we're going to be doing here is off the tee box, we'll be playing a plus 10% elevation. And, I would definitely recommend going left again for this hole. I think it's going to put you in a much better position for your second shot towards the green, going to the left-hand side. So we are going to want to land this shot past the rough. I'm pretty sure we'll get some sort of a tail or a side tailwind, so there shouldn't be any issue. We'll go with max top and left spin on this shot. Like I said, a Titan ball. The goal is to get as far up that second fairway as possible, as close to the edge as possible, without going too far. So as you can see with my extra mile 5 and top spin, it got me there very easily. So there's still a lot of top spin to work with. If you have a little bit higher level clubs, you should be good. So for the second shot, we're going to be playing plus 30% here. And you'll be playing either with your Viper or long iron. Maybe if you have the Goliath in, you may play with the Goliath, depending on your location, especially if you're farther up in that fairway than I am on my drive. For me though, playing it with the Viper. Like I said, plus 30% here. And I'll go with a couple bars of backspin here. You are coming downhill on this shot pretty severely. So definitely, maybe go with a little bit more backspin than I went with there. I went with 2 backspin. I would definitely think about maybe going with at least like 3 bars of backspin on this shot. We hit perfect. As you're going to see, though, the ball's going to come in really nice, but just too hot. We were right on line with the hole. Another backspin, another 1 or 2 backspin, and we would have dropped that shot for the albatross. Yes, that would have been for the albatross. So moving on to hole 3 here, our first par 3, definitely would recommend going with a quasar ball here. We're going to go with a plus 20% for our elevation change here on this shot. And we are going to be using, it looks like, the Viper. So if you have a sniper or a Viper, that's what you would use. And depending on the wind, you're going to go with backspin and about 4.5 bars of left spin. So we have kind of a side tailwind, a side headwind. We're going to go with 2 backspin here on this shot. We're going to line the blue edge of our ring to the left edge of that rough line, and then we're going to adjust our shot for this hole here. Plus 20% is what I said for the elevation. Let's see if we can hit this one perfect. Can we hit it perfect? No, we cannot. We hit great left. We're still going to get a pretty good look at this shot. And, you know, we came in just left of the hole. Really good speed on that shot with the side headwind, 2 backspin. With a tailwind, I would say at least 3 backspin. And then with a tailwind, 3 backspin. And then with a headwind, around 1.5 bars of backspin. Hole number 4 is next. We're going to be playing 2 different versions of this hole, once to the left, once to the right. And I'm going to show you how to play each way and get really close, if not drop the eagle. So for the tee shot here, we're going to be playing to the left-hand side first. And what I want you to do is going to play this shot either with an extra mile with topspin. If you don't have a higher level extra mile, then you can go with a big topper, which is what I'm going to use here. So I have a headwind. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to go full max. I'm going to back the shot up just a little bit. That way when I adjust for my wind, then I'm at max. I'm going to use my topspin because I want to land in the rough and then roll out. I do not want to land my second bounce on that fairway. It's very important that you want to hit the rough and then roll out on this shot. If you hit the fairway, you could roll through and into that bunker or that rough to the left. So it's very important to make sure your second bounce is hitting the rough and then rolling out. So change your topspin as needed depending on what kind of wind direction you have for your drive. As you see, we hit nicely. We hit the rough and we roll out perfectly. And that's exactly what we want to see right there with our big topper shot. Definitely you can play that shot with the extra mile if you have like a nice tailwind or even a little bit higher level extra mile with some more topspin. Our second shot here from this location, we're going to be playing plus 20% here. As you can see, we're playing it with the thorn, you know, we're going to see if we can drop this one. So we're trying to find our max, and we're trying to find our mid or min. So we're playing this one pretty much at max adjustment. You want to drop this shot right up there around the fringe of the green. You're going to find the most consistent bounce spot that you can, and then you're going to use your backspin on this shot. We have a headwind here, so you know, use your backspin accordingly. Remember, again, we are shooting downhill, so you're going to get a little bit more bounce and distance out of your shot when it does bounce. So be generous using that backspin. Not bad shot, great left, and great left it went. Perfect, probably in the hole. So plus 20% on that second shot from that location on the left side. All right, same hole. Now I'm going to show you how to play it to the right side. We're going to be using a quasar ball here, max top and left spin. You want to aim that ball guide up the middle of that fairway. Now, if you have a tailwind, you know, and you have a club with higher levels of topspin, then you may want to, you know, be a little bit more careful as far as your topspin use goes on this shot. You don't want to roll through that fairway and into the rough. We make our adjustment right there. And we're going to hit this one perfect. Yes, we do. And this one's going to roll up that right-hand side very nicely, right up the middle of the fairway. And it's going to set ourselves up for a long iron shot down to the hole. Now, for this next shot, I go with the backbone. I like the backbone because of its accuracy. And we're going to play this one from the right side at plus 30%. If you remember, we played the left one at plus 20. We're a little bit higher up in elevation, so we're going to go with plus 30% here. What you see me doing now is trying to find a consistent land zone where when I move my target around, I'm not seeing a lot of movement on my ball guide. So we go with backspin, a little tiny bit of left spin to straighten out that ball guide. And then we're going to line our shot up here with the hole. We're going to make our adjustment, as I said, at plus 30%. And we're going to adjust and try our darndest to hit a perfect shot. Let's see if we can do a perfect shot. We hit this one perfect. It comes in very nicely, and it's going to drop for the eagle dead center of the cup. So yes, plus 30% is the adjustment for that shot. Hole number 5 is next, and we're going to be playing this one with a plus 10% adjustment, this par 3. And this is a tricky par 3 because you're landing it on a slanted slope. So what we're going to do here is, we're actually not going to play any side spin. We're going to play about 1/2 bar of topspin for a headwind. If we had a tailwind or a side wind, then we would probably just play no spins whatsoever. And we just want to aim this one at the hole as best as we can and try to get this one to drop. So if you see my blue ring right there along the left-hand edge of the rough line, that's a pretty good aim point right there. And then we're going to make our adjustment. We're right around mid adjustment here for this shot. Definitely check out where you're landing your shot, whether you're in min, mid, or max, and appropriately adjust for your shot here at plus 10%. We roll in very nicely, almost got the drop. This could definitely be a hole that you see people dropping, but all of these par 3s are honestly, not the easiest ones to probably drop. All right, we got hole number 6 here. This one right here is probably one of the tougher holes, I would say, on this course as far as trying to get that eagle. The way I would play this one is with a Titan ball and your extra mile. You definitely want to bring your big dog for your second shot. What we're going to be doing here is playing it to the right-hand side with max topspin and right spin. You want to aim this shot down the middle of the fairway, so you can adjust your right spin as you need to achieve that aim. We did not adjust it at complete max distance to begin with, because when we adjusted for our wind, we wanted to end in max. We didn't want to have to overpower our shot. I am going to add a little bit of right curl here for this shot, just because I want to counteract that right to left push for the wind, and hopefully maybe guard myself in case I had a great left. You see me roll up the fairway decently. With a tailwind, we'll get a little bit farther up and to the right on that fairway, setting up our second shot just a little bit better. But for our second shot here, plus 0% here, with the big dog, I definitely would recommend the big dog, not only for its distance, but also its curling ability on this shot. The amount of topspin you want to use, you're going to have to judge that depending on your drive distance. For my distance here, I wanted to go with 2 topspin, max left spin. And, what you're going to have to judge here really is going to be the curl amount you want to use. How aggressive do you want to get with this shot? We're going to go full curl here, trying to get pretty aggressive with this shot. You're going to see me get pretty close to this bunker on the left here. So if you don't want to risk that, you can definitely lighten up on your curl a little bit. But then also remember, with a tailwind, your drive will be farther up and to the right. So you will have a little bit better shot and line on the hole without having to worry about that bunker if you have a tailwind on the drive. So just remember that next time you play this hole. Hole number 7 here, really tough par 3. If you have clubs with a lot of backspin, like the Sniper or the Viper, you could try the rough bump here, plus 10%. I don't have enough backspin. I tried it before with 3 bars, and it just came in way too hot with a tailwind. So what I'm going to try to do here with a headwind is try to bounce this one back near about min distance. And you really want about, probably a little bit more backspin than I have right there. You probably want about 4 bars of backspin on this shot. If you have a tailwind, it's going to be a little bit more tough to play this shot, because as you can see, I was in between clubs if I adjusted any farther back. So you will have to play a little bit closer to about between mid and min and go with more backspin if you have a tailwind on this hole. So, the way we played this one, it came in pretty good, just a little bit off to the left, but definitely not a bad attempt on that shot. This is going to be a tough hole to ace, depending on the kind of wind that we get, and also it's going to depend on the club that you have as far as the backspin goes to play this shot. Definitely a hole that requires a club with some backspin. Hole number 8, we're getting close to the end here. We're going to be playing this par 4 with either a Quasar or Katana ball. And off the tee box, we'll be playing a plus 10%. This is definitely a hole where you want to be careful on the topspin off the tee box, especially if you have a tailwind. And, we're going to be playing this one to the left-hand side. For those playing from the second tee, the right-hand side may be more of a possibility with more topspin. But rookie-level clubs, we're going to be playing it to the left-hand side. I think that's going to give us the best opportunity for a shot on the green. Max topspin and left spin with an extra mile 5. If you have higher level extra mile with more topspin, definitely be cautious on using all that topspin, because I wouldn't want you to roll through that left fairway, especially with a tailwind. So plus 15% here on the drive, like we said. Max left spin and then topspin at your own discretion. With a side wind and a headwind, I think, full topspin is going to be okay. And that was with the level 5 extra mile. So for the second shot, we're going to be playing plus 30% downhill through the train track arch. And, there was some speculation whether or not we'd be able to go over the train track. Do not think we can go over this train track. So as you can see, depending on our drive distance, we can be, either using the long iron or the wood club. So it just depends on where you put your shot on your drive. We're going to be using the long iron at max distance here for this shot. Again, downhill shots, you're going to have to use some backspin on the shot because the ball is going to hit and push a little bit farther through with, such a severe downhill shot. So don't be scared about using a little bit more backspin than you may think is needed. We hit this one perfect. It's going to come in really nicely. These downhill shots are tough to figure out, but we're pretty close on that one. And just a matter of lining it up a little bit more efficiently with the wind. So plus 30% on that second shot. Our last and final hole, hole number 9 here. We're going to be playing this one, with a Titan ball for sure. This is a hole that you want to really just blast down the fairway. I'm going to play this one with a big topper to the left-hand side. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because I think I can get far enough down that fairway with a big topper to put myself in Viper or Sniper range. You can also play this one to the right-hand side. That's definitely another possibility. And you'll have a similar shot with a Viper or a Sniper. So definitely, if you feel more comfortable playing to the right, then definitely do so. Well, with a really good tailwind, you could probably go through the that rough at the end of that right fairway and possibly down to that next fairway area. But we're going with the big topper to the left. We're playing about 5-10% here for our drive elevation with the big topper, max top spin. And we're just going to hit this one perfect as we can. We got it perfect. And this one is going to shoot up this fairway a really good distance. And as you're going to see, we get far enough up where we take the trees out of the picture, and we do actually have a very clear shot on the hole. So what you're going to see here on this next shot is a very good look at the green here from this location. This is a fairly flat hole, which is quite different than all of the other holes that we really have on this course. I always start out by finding the min and the mid range for my shot, and with the headwind, we're gonna play this one at min with a little bit of backspin and right spin. We aim this one at the hole, and unfortunately, we had a really bad period of lag for some reason. I think it's just my tablet that I'm using for these holes, but we do not hit a perfect on this next shot. I'll just completely tell you, no perfect is hit on this shot. And we hit it double grade to the right. It's going to come in a little bit quickly and a little bit to the right. So I would definitely make sure that you go with a little bit more backspin than I went with and try to hit it perfect. That kind of goes without saying though. But anyways, that's holes 1 through 9 of the new course. I really like the course. Think it's a pretty cool course. And it's really going to come down to what kind of wind that they decide to give us. And playing the shots at the correct elevation. Playing with such large amounts of elevation can really throw your shot off, and if you're not playing correctly, you're not going to be anywhere near these holes for these shots. And those that do play correctly are going to be rewarded with much better scores. So definitely it is important to know how you want to play the hole and know your elevation before you get ready to take your shot. Whether you use wind charts or wind apps, definitely be prepared for your shots and knowing what you need to do to properly adjust and align the shots and hopefully drop them for the extra J booms during your round. All right, y'all, thank you very much. Check me out on Facebook. My community page is Golf Clash the 19th Hole. Hit that subscribe button on my YouTube channel if you haven't done so yet. Definitely hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed this video and this content of the brand new course from T1 Tour 4. Y'all have a good day. Have a good night. God bless.